Say it. We are sick and tired. We are sick and tired. I come in solitary. My name is Marilyn Hill. I'm a member from the Frogtown Neighborhood Association Board. And also I'm a member of Family Supporting Families Against Police Violence. Somebody take this phone out my hand. Here, hold it. I want everybody to follow me. We need to come and walk up the street. Let's follow me while we talk. Mr. Cruz.
You want to be in the street, Auntie?
All right. Where he at? Where's the director, Mr. Cruz? Tucson. Can you get this
All right, we're gonna march up to Rose, where we're gonna get the first speakers going. And just to get this started, remember why we're here. And remember who we're here for. Say his name.
Good, how are you?
Say his name. 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 All right, we're gonna get our steps in today. Get on down to where Miss Marilyn is going to direct us. She's been planning this for a long time, as y'all know. And Marilyn has been out in these streets doing a lot of work for her late son. So we're going to meet at the top of the hill here, listen to Trey Hearn, and get moving from there. I hope y'all are feeling good. The sun came out for us.
Yes.
Beautiful day.
Listen.
You know what I think about my son? And I love everybody that's here that's supporting us. We're standing in solidarity. You know, I believe that God's purpose in Psalm 57, 2 says, and you cut that music a little bit, there's a scripture. You know, we all have a purpose in life. Okay? When God first born, when we were first born, He's put us in this world for a reason. And if we don't have a purpose, where you're going? But when someone takes your life, and you know your purpose has ended, it's God's revenge. In Psalms 57:2, He says, I cry out to God Most High, to God who fulfills His purpose for me. The key understanding God's purpose for your life. We have to remember, He has numbered our days and will fulfill every purpose He has set for us. I have more to talk about. You know, the officer Victor had killed my son 25 years ago today. I have suffered. I have been in pain. He is gone 10 years later, within that day of 1997, 10 years later now. But you can imagine, I suffered for 7 years. It took me 7 years to learn how to accept. I have a story to tell behind this officer, because there's a lot of lies. And I will be sharing my story with you people. And you will be surprised of the lies that the media, the newspaper, and what they said about the witnesses. If the witness didn't sign no paper, they are not guilty. That means they set them up allowed to talk.
Hey, let's walk.
Where are you going?
Stay on.
You can't cross the street.
Man, go ahead, brother.
We're gonna move down a little bit. And
So
get-
you can stand right here. We don't have to move. This is our street. Whose street? Whose street?
Our streets.
Whose street?
Our streets.
Yes. In solidarity we stand. Ain't nobody gonna take this land. This land belongs to the natives. And they have took this land from our people. So whose street?
Our streets.
They don't belong to the police, that's for sure. What they're doing is trying to destroy us one by one.
That's right.
25 years ago, they was called a SWAT team. Okay, how guilty can they be? They go in your house, they tear your house up, they kill, they destroy, they make you scared. You know, back then they was taking drug dealers, taking your money, giving it to the prostitutes to talk, getting you to snitch. But this ain't like this no more. Today is the day for you women out here that have victimized, that cause your loved ones to get their lives stolen from them. We're gonna put fear in their asses.
That's right.
Because see, I am the one, and they might not like it. They killed my son, but you know what? When you're least expected, when you give it in and give it to God, see, it was hard. But when I surrender and accept, I let go. By me letting go, I surrender. I had a hard time. I had to accept. When I let go, and it was God, Jesus came in my heart when that hole was there. Karma. When it says in the Bible, eye for an eye, okay. Officer Victor was shot in the back. Just the same way he shot my son. 6 bullet holes was in my son's back, his body. But guess what?
That's not right.
We're gonna talk about this. Because the person that shot him in the back, he's in jail and he's innocent. Okay? That's another story to tell. I will be talking about this at 1335 Westminster.
All right.
Okay, I'm gonna turn it over to Mr. Cruz.
When black lives are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
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 Demetrius Hill was killed and murdered by the St. Paul Police Department, which is the deadliest police department in the state of Minnesota, in the 90s. In the 90s, our leaders, because they're kind-hearted and they believe in justice and they want to live in safe and healthy communities, were manipulated by the government into entrusting Joe Biden to sign the 1994 crime bill. And the 1994 crime bill led to mass incarceration, right? The 1994 crime bill put 100,000 new police officers on the streets. And those 100,000 new police officers harassed and victimized and murdered black and brown bodies, black lives specifically. So now that Joe Biden is president, he has a chance to make amends. He's been in office for 100 days and he's passed a lot of legislation, a lot of executive orders, but none of them have addressed the issues facing the black community, the community that put Joe Biden in the office in the first place. So we're asking Joe Biden to sign an executive order immediately that helps the people in Detroit that voted for him at 90%, the people in Georgia that voted for Joe Biden over 90%, the people in Philadelphia, the black people who helped Joe Biden become president. We're asking him for the goods and resources that we need right now. We're asking for an executive order around qualified immunity. We're asking we need to get rid of qualified immunity so that police can't continue to kill black people and hide behind the shield. We're also asking for 24 months, $3,000 a month for COVID relief for the American descendants of chattel slavery. Black Americans built this country, so there's a debt owed. We're not asking for charity or a handout. We're asking what America owes, and they have the executive office. So Joe Biden can sign this right now. We want to. An executive order to establish HR 40 or start the reparations commission immediately. $3K a month for 24 months of income for black people. Public-private student debt forgiveness. Federal municipal court fees, fines forgiveness. Anti-homeless initiative. Child support debt settlement. Driver's license procurement guarantee. Federal job guarantee. Establish a fund for the Department of African American Affairs. Increase farm ownership and subsidies to pre-1965 levels. K through 12 direct.
Ask somebody.
That's okay. I got my mask. How y'all doing out here? I said, how y'all doing out here? We gotta bring the energy when we are fighting for justice. And we're going against a system that does not want to change. We're going against a system that wants to protect white supremacy. And we want a heavy sentence. Because when you lynch somebody in broad daylight, you deserve to spend many, many years in prison. There's more people in prison who've done far less than what Derek Chauvin did. In there for drug-related crimes and non-violent offenses, spending decades behind bars and away from their families. This man was a veteran of the Minneapolis Police Department. He trained other officers. He heard black people and other witnesses on the sidelines telling him to stop, and he didn't listen. He committed his crime in the presence of children. So for the Attorney General to say we don't want a sentence that's light or heavy, that's a lie from the pit of hell. You don't speak for all black people, Keith Ellison. All you did was your job, and we had to make you do that. Period. And we were waiting for the other 3 police officers to be held accountable as well. And Kim Potter. So that's 4 that's in the pipeline, hopefully, who will be convicted for their crimes, and send a message to other officers across the state of Minnesota that we are watching, that we are demanding justice, that we will not be quiet, that we will not sit down, we will not be afraid, but we will continue to rise up and do what needs to be done. Because we're tired of murderers in blue who expect us to respect their badges. You don't respect yourself when you come out here and you're criminalizing people, you're harassing people, you're beating people, you're murdering people. How could you respect your own humanity if you're able to dehumanize other people? I only respect those who respect me and my community. I don't care what kind of badge you got on. I don't care who gave you the authority. I don't care what kind of car you're driving in. If you do not respect my people, we do not respect you. And if the government wants us to pay attention to their systems, then they need to hold these crooked cops accountable. Because Derek Chauvin was not one bad apple. He's part of a rotten-ass system that has been getting away with murder since they were founded in the aftermath of slavery. Because for those who don't know, police started as slave patrols. And you see the similarities, them riding on horseback, them having hounds to try to chase fugitive slaves, them having the authority of the law to do what they're doing. And the same thing is happening in the 21st century, but they have gotten more sophisticated with their racism and their white supremacy. And just as they have gotten more sophisticated, we must get more sophisticated. As their offices are closed because of COVID, their homes are the new offices, which means we are showing up there. We're not going to sit at home. We're going to go to your door like we just did to Pete Orpit. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. Standing in front of his yard, holding church, marching, speaking the truth. And by the power of the Spirit, exposing racists. See, we ain't scared. We have to stand up for our people. Because when we're silent, they think they can get away with it. That's how they thought they could get away with what happened in Demetrius Hill. And I thank God for Maryland having the strength to continue to stand after all these years and to be a voice for her son. To call out the wickedness, to call out the evil. that St. Paul is happy that the focus is on Minneapolis, but we see you too. You got the deadliest police force in the state of Minnesota. How many black people have they criminalized? How many black people have they beaten? How many black people have they killed? How many black people have they allowed their police dogs, their racist ass police dogs, to chew up black folks and get away with it? So they can try to smile and act like because they have a black mayor that they're better, but no, they're not better. We see the wickedness in your system, and we're gonna call it out. We want to see change. We're demanding change. We will not rest until we get change. Justice for Demetrius Hill. They need to open up all the cases involving families who have been victimized by police violence. Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter. No justice. No justice.
No peace. No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
We got Michelle Gross. She's going to come up and say a few words real quick from Communities United Against Police Brutality. Give her a round of applause.
So I don't need to tell you what everybody else has already told you multiple times, that St. Paul is the deadliest police department by a long shot. It's not only the deadliest in the state, but it's the 19th deadliest in the U.S. And for a small department, that is really sickening. And we cannot keep having this go on. So some of us have been working together to try to get some bills passed in the legislature. And I realize that, you know, when you talk about bills passed in the legislature, it sounds pretty lame, but we do have to get at the underlying causes of this stuff. And it's important. And so one of the things we've been trying to do, for example, is to eliminate the statute of limitations for these cases so that people like Maryland can have a case and bring forward the evidence. And that's so important to make that opportunity for people. Of course, the legislature ain't trying to help us. We got our bill through the House side, but they blocked it on the Senate side. And by the way, let me just remind you about that Senate, because I think it's important. This is the same Senate that had no problem taking a vote on a bill that would have allowed the post board to take away the licenses of white supremacist cops. They voted no. They deserve to have these cases.
Yes,
They
they do.
deserve an opportunity for justice. They have waited long enough. The state of Minnesota has one of the shortest statutes of limitations for wrongful death in the entire country. And that is nothing but a safety net for cops. Because what they do, it's a 3-year statute of limitations. The beat other agencies, they take it so deeply unfair. This system is a systemic setup.
It's not fair.
It's a systemic setup to prevent the families from getting justice. And while at the same time, so that's on the civil side, we know there's a criminal side.